Well, Adnan Zulfikar has just returned from Syria as part of a research trip for the Truman National Security Project, and he joins us on the line from Washington. You speak Arabic. I think you got into areas where a lot of journalists haven't been able to get into as well. What did you see on the ground in terms of these rebel fighters' advance and how well equipped and sponsored they are now?
Well, Tim, it looks as though, from my observations, the rebel forces make up a vast majority of the fight. The Islamist forces make up a vast majority of the rebel forces. And in terms of weapons, according to a lot of them, most of their weapons are coming from weapons caches that they're capturing from Syrian army depots that they're taking over or in battles that they're winning. They seem to be getting some support from outside countries, but many of them actually complained about the trickle of money that was coming in and that they really needed some weapons in order to turn the tide, if you will.
Yeah, and the leader of the Syrian opposition, Muaz al-Khatib, said in the last few hours that the people of Syria don't need any international help. It's too late, quite frankly. They should have stepped in months ago.
And I think that's accurate. I think that's the general sentiment that I got in my meetings across the board. I was able to meet with some very senior politicians within the opposition, as well as senior religious clerics and Islamist fighters. And across the board, they were in agreement that, you know, we've been waiting for 2 years. We've had 40,000 plus casualties, and you have not stepped up to give any support, you being Western nations and outside countries. So there is a sense to which now that it looks as though the writing is on the wall, there is a little less interest in getting the support from outside, as in you're too late to the party.
Well, yeah, Russia has expressed for the first time its views that perhaps Bashar al-Assad won't win this war. But when will the middle classes, for example, the businessmen in Damascus, see that it is the time perhaps to break away from the regime? Is that going to be the tipping point?
I think you have it right. I think the tipping point is really when Bashar al-Assad loses his remaining Sunni support. The reality of Syria is that 75% of the country is Sunni. This is the backbone of Syria, and it is also the backbone in some respects of the Assad regime in collaboration with obviously his support from Alawis and other minorities. So I think the Sunni businessmen and the business elite within Damascus are really gauging the situation now. The loss of Russia, or at least Russia stepping back a bit and trying to hedge its bets with regards to the future, is going to have an impact on them. Now, of course, you know, they have a lot of assets and a lot of sort of investment within the Assad regime. It's not that easy to break off. It's dangerous for their families, etc. So there are a variety of things that we've seen over the last 2 years that have indicated that Assad does have staying power within the country, and it is pretty difficult to break off from him, even though people have consistently been doing it for a while.
Okay. Adnan Zulfikar, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us on the programme.